Hello, welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna and I am so glad you are here. I'm playing along with Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, where we take one of our pins from Pinterest and use it. We are focusing on text today because it's Thursday, so there is my pin. And then I'm also playing along with Speedy Scrapbooking with Ginger's Corner. I'm actually using a sketch by Ginger. And I grabbed out photos of May of 2024 when two of my girls and I went out for Mother's Day. The first stop was for ice cream. The second stop was to stop to have a beer. So only two of my girls, one of them she had an internship she was at and not able to be with us. I have this paper pad from Hobby Lobby that I love. I just love the colors of it. And so I'm using it piece by piece. And when I looked at Eliza's shirt on the bottom there, it made me think of this kind of corally color. So that's what I'm using. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab out two pieces of paper, two scraps of paper, really, not full sheets, and then tear them down so that you can see on the either side. Now, this is speedy scrapbooking. You can see my video is 14 minutes long. The whole process took me 20 minutes. I am not even kidding you. Um, I am not that fast of a scrapbooker, but you can see how uh, um, simple of a sketch this is. I end up bringing in lots of blue and corally ephemera from my color boxes. That slows me down a little bit. If I'm working with a collection, I can get it done speedy fast, but because I am picking out, what are the blue things that I want and what are the coral things that I want, it just took me a little bit longer. All right, so I tore both pieces of paper. Now I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on to make sure they stick together so that I can just trim them both together. And I'm really eyeballing this. I think it came to like an inch and a fourth where I thought it looked good. And so that's where I'm going to shoot for when I make the cut on the other side, but I will just do the same thing on the other side. Now, while I am doing, doesn't it look good already? While I'm doing that, know that the playlist for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers is below. There's a different theme for each day of the week, but we can just pick whatever pins that we want to off our Pinterest board. We don't have to go with the prompts, um, but we can if we like to, if we want some direction, which is what I did. So I am trimming and I am tearing. Also, I will have a link to Ginger's Facebook group as well as her link to the Speedy Scrapbooking playlist, which is fun to check out as well. Um, and watch everybody speedily put together a layout. I'm doing the same thing on this side. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive there to hold them together. Now I'm shooting for the 1 1/4, just kind of, and making sure, eyeballing it up, making sure that it's where I want to. I really like the look of this. Now I could have rolled too. I just tore both of them, but you could always, kind of roll both of them really, but the top one for sure. I didn't even think of that at the time. I'm going to get those adhered down, and then I will take out my spray, and I believe it's antique linen, and just mist it on there. Um, Not all my sprays can spray anymore. They get clogged. But this one did a nice fine mist and I like the way it turns out. So I will go ahead and spray. I'll go away and let it dry and then come back to finish the layout. So I'm going to move my photos out of the way. I do have a box. I think it's a 49 and Market box that I got, like a secret box from 49 Market, and it's one of those 12 by 12 like pizza boxes. So I do bring that into, and you can see I tore off the top to do my kind of my sometimes splattering, but spraying for sure. So I'm just going to hit up in those three spots, and then I do come back and hit the left lower spot again. I thought it wasn't just quite as much as I wanted it, but it really does. Look at there. It's like splattering and sprays all in one. So now it's dry. I'm coming back with my photos. I am going to leave those frames. I was kind of playing around with frames at one time. I've had these photos developed probably for almost a year now. I ordered a whole bunch online and I decided I was going to try out the frames. I used to get them at my local, this is going to sound weird, but local grocery store, and I just loved, they just worked well. Just I mean, the developing plus the frame, but and sometimes I would trim them off, but think I'm over frames. Anyway, and I have my printer that I use at home. Um, so here I am. So I'm not going to trim them down at all. All three of them have those mats, and I'm pulling out what I think would look good. There is a sticker, I think it's from Simple Stories, Love, 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 and it's just in the right shades. It's kind of got that pinky corally color. And of course, we're out for Mother's Day, so love, love, love. I'm pulling out different things. I've got Nicole Jones 911 printables and the um, film strips. I've got several Ellie Studio. They're kind of like plan more for like planners and that, but it works good on a scrapbook layout. So the fishtail banner, um, different things are there, and I'm going to use a whole bunch, a lot of wordy bits. So on the bottom it says "You Are My World." I almost have like two different titles, and that one's from Creative Memories. It's maybe got just a little bit different style than the rest of what's going on. Um, but I'm used it and I'm using it with confidence, and I like the way it looks at the end, and that's the important part. So I will add some coral into that kind of cluster as well. But I'm just moving around some chipboard arrows, lots of labels and several tabs. Then now knowing that where kind of everything's going to go, I will adhere my photos down, and then and I'm trying to be I don't want to say discreet. I kind of cover up that whole spray in the bottom left, but I didn't it was didn't want it in the middle. So, and it just I slid it over by Eliza over there, so and it works. I think it works well. Um I will work on that cluster on the right, and in the cluster on the right, I want to make the year, and I'm going to do it that bubble lettering like I have on my pin in the beginning. And then I laid down the film strips because I knew that was a good layering piece that would go underneath like the title or whatever else I was doing. And then I realized I hadn't glued down this picture, so I'm going to make sure I get that picture glued down. Now, I make a mistake on this. Um, I often will practice on a different piece of paper. I didn't want to take the time actually to do this, so I go for it. And the second two is totally wrong. Could I have saved it? Perhaps. But I knew it was going to bother me every time I looked at it, so I'm changing it up. So first I'm just doing the bubble lettering, and then it really shouldn't have had that big hook on it, I guess. I don't know what I did wrong. So, I get rid of that and I bring in something else. It's got the same, I don't know if these were from Walmart. I have these like tags, and fishtail banners. So bring out the same color. It's kind of a denim. Bring out the same one. And again, just go for it. Don't do it on a separate piece of paper. No, I should make them a little bit smaller. So I'll do the 2 and then the 0, and then I'm much more careful with the second 2. And then I have to make a 4. Well, the 4, I'm looking at the pin right now with 2026. So I do get a piece of paper out so I can practice the 4 because that I couldn't visualize it in my head. Um, with the 2026, there's a lot of like round parts. So I sketch it out with my pen on the scrap paper, and then and I'll do it go right to the the banner. Now, the thing I've noticed since doing this, the other ones have these cute little dots in the lines. I didn't put any dots on the 4, but I think it's going to be easy just to go over the line, if that makes sense, on the 4 to just stick like 3 little dots in a spot, or maybe even in 2 spots. It'll be fine. It'll work out. Could I leave it like this? Absolutely, and probably most people wouldn't even notice, or maybe 100% of people wouldn't notice, but it's going to make me feel better if I just put 3 little dots on part of the 4. So now that I've got all 3 letters down, that's when I do some outlining and then those dots that I was talking about. Now, I don't know how easy this is to see in the final picture because it is glossy and it does kind of give a glare off, so it might be hard to see what I'm talking about with the 4 doesn't have any dots, but I still like it. It still looks good. So then I take that right off the sticker sheet and lay that down. And I am doing some layering. So I take the one that I messed up on and I'm gonna layer it over the top. Why not, right? Cover that up, and with the love, love, love sticker is gonna go over the top too. Ta-da! A little bit of extra layering there, which I am fine with. And there you can see the kind of the 4. I don't know how well. And I want to make sure to get that coral or orangey pinky color in all my other clusters. So that fishtail banner, actually the fishtail banner goes into by the title on the left lower part. And that label says special moment. The orange one says this is awesome. And then I will put the chipboard arrow up there. And I know Ginger put that the title is above the 4x6 vertical photo. And so that's where I have my love, love, love 2024. But You Are My World is, I don't know if it's another title. It's not really a subtitle, I don't think. Well, maybe it is. We'll call it the subtitle. So that's in the left lower side. And then, did I forget to get those um, film strips in there after all that? And this was trying to pop up, and I did not want to smear it. So I'm using my tool just to kind of pat it down there. I do not end up using that banner. It was kind of like, it said something about everything summed up in one word, and I don't know what word it was summing up. So maybe, actually, I get a kind of a tab tag that says together below it, and maybe that's the one word. Maybe I can still use that. That is a ticket I punched out that's going to layer in there. And I'm going to come to that again, my subtitle on the left lower part. That fishtail banner is from Ellie's Studio. I have another tab that I thought about putting in. Oh, I do put it up on the top. That is actually Stampin' Up from a long time ago, so that's going to sneak in there. And I'm making sure everything's glued down. Is anything going to fall off the page? This is my test. Hold it up a little bit. Looks like it's glued down so far. I do bring in there's a tab. There we go. That's just something where when I have extra pieces of paper, I don't want to throw them away. I will punch out tabs, and that is one of those. I do have a blue, um, there's the together, which I think I'm going to go, it's trying to find its place. It's covering up really nothing up there, so I thought that was a good place for it. And I have a blue, the thing that says summed up in all one word. I think that would be perfect there. Okay. So that says I want to remember it all, and that is Ellie Studio as well. So that's going to layer on top of there. And that is going to complete my layout for today. So until next time, may your memories have a home on paper.